How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Heavy Metal Airsoft. This is going to be the part 2 in our build series for the high Capa full auto 5.1. We're going to do the upper in this episode. Got all the parts laid out here. And this is the only part that's not going to need modification, so everything is just going to be straightforward. Put all the pieces together, put them in the slide, and that'll be done. When we get onto the frame, that's where we're going to have our first modification for our full auto conversion. So let's get on to this, since we got a lot of parts out here on the table, and this is might take up the whole video. The only thing I'm not going to be showing you guys or doing for you guys is putting the front sight on. This one already has the front sight, so if you need to know how to do that, I suggest you get yourself a little file and file your sight down till it fits good. Pop it in there, you'll be good to go. Okay? Just take this, clean it out real quick, wipe it out, make sure there's no dirt, debris in there. Everything should be fine. Set that to the side. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to build our nozzle assembly. And that consists of our Gaurder enhanced nozzle. We have a UAC nozzle valve with spring. And then we have our UAC Valve Block, a little screw here. So what you're going to do is take your nozzle, the little spring, see the little pin coming down towards you, that's going to go in first. Just drop that in there. And take your little screwdriver, just kind of fish it down in there. Okay, he's in there good. Then you're going to take your nozzle valve, drop that in there, take your little screwdriver again, just get him kind of lined up. Now, he wants to get that spring and he wants to be pushed in. You feel some tension, okay? Then we're going to line up our valve block. Now, the little hole is on the top, so the little hole's on top of our valve. I'm just going to line that up. Of course, we're just dropping this in here, so everything is not going to line up perfectly the first time. Okay. See how that went? So I'm going to just rotate that till he gets in place, and then he'll drop pretty much in place. Okay, now we're going to take another screwdriver and drop it in there backwards. Okay. We'll hold him in there with the one hand, and then we need to line up our screw hole with our hole on top of our nozzle. So I'm lined up right here. I'm going to drop my screw in. Oops, I lost it. Now don't get frustrated, this is going to take a minute for sure. Okay, I'm going to drop that screw in there, try and line it up close. See, this is these little tiny screws. Okay, let's get this with this screwdriver now. There we go. Just take your time. I've done this quite a few times, so we want to double check. Just look down in there. Make sure we've got compression. Okay, good to go. Now we're going to take that and we're going to insert that into our blowback unit, which I try to do upside down sometimes, most of the time. Tip this in here like this. There's that little groove right here. That notch on top of your nozzle is going to lock in there. Good to go. And then we're going to take our nozzle spring. This is our AIP 120% nozzle spring. We'll just drop this in. The thicker part, wound up part, goes to the back. And we've got a good fit. The spring is not loose at all. That's a good fit. Okay, now we're going to take this and we're going to drop this in our slide. Now sometimes you might have to put the rear sight on first. If you have the kind of sight that slides in, like the Bomar, let me see right here. This is the kind of sight that has to go in first. Now I have the Bomar, the AIP fiber optic sight here that screws onto the top, so I can actually put that on last. I'll show you that. So we want to hold our blowback unit like so. If we tip it upside down, that little spring might fall out. So and we're just going to take our slide and drop it on. Oh, see, my spring popped out. Okay, put that back in. And be gentle when we put this in here. Okay, that's good. Good fit. Okay, now I'm going to take my AIP Hammer Protection pad, which comes with the screw, and we're going to put that in the back. And that's going to hold our blowback unit in. I've got my Allen wrench here. Just going to tighten that down. And the good thing about this AIP sight is it also screws on to the blowback unit here, and it keeps it more secure having another screw into the top. Because most of the time there's just a screw into the back, so you have no control or you know, nothing holding this kind of movement. With this AIP sight with the screw in the top, now you're more secure. The blowback unit has 2 points of retention, 2 screws in it. So, okay, that's it for that. We've got our blowback unit installed. Now we need to build our hop-up unit. So we have our hop-up unit, we have our hop-up wheel, we have the other side here, 2 parts, and we have our inner barrel and our bucking. I'm just using the inner barrel is a 5.1 stock barrel, but let's see if this fits. This is a Reaps A+. Okay, there's the groove. Reaps A+ bucking that might fit. We'll see. Okay, so if not, then we're just going to go back to the stock Tokyo Marui bucking. This works, it's fine, no need to change it really, but if we have an issue with this, seems like, okay. So we've got our bucking on our barrel. You want to line up that groove. We have our lug here. Now our lug is going to go into the little slot, and then the groove here is going to go into the grooves on the barrel. There's one on each side. So we press our lug in, push our barrel in, and we're going to take our hop-up arm, and the little hook part right here goes into the wheel, in that groove in the wheel, and then you just push it over the top, like that. And that'll go into this little slot on top of the hop-up. So we take our other piece, sandwich it together. You want to look inside here and make sure everything looks okay. If something doesn't look right, then we got a problem. So we want to make sure our bucking is spaced evenly. Might have to push it around a little bit. Okay. So that's good to go. We're going to get our screws in. We might just have enough time to finish this video, guys. I don't know, it's looking pretty close. Alright, we got our hop-up assembly all together. We're going to slide that into our outer barrel. We want a nice tight fit. I'm going to wiggle it around. And this is what you're looking for right here, guys. This fit. I'll see you on part 2 of this.